This is a video response to, well, me. Never done a video response to me. It should be interesting. I'm doing a response because there's a couple of things I didn't mention in my previous video that seems to have caused a little bit of debate about, you know, should YouTube do more about policing itself. I get that there are things that you can do to protect yourself. You know, I'm not arguing with that. You know, I, for one, have to approve every comment on my channel because, you know, 6 months ago or so when I first started out, I got a massive amount of abuse. So I know that you can do that. That was not kind of my point I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make is, you know, I think YouTube has a moral responsibility that when you provide a service like they do, that's on that big a scale, that has genuine implications in people's lives, then it's only right that they need to step up to the plate and do a little bit more to stop the abuse that it gives. That was what I was kind of trying to make. The other thing I want to point out is YouTube's moral responsibility to police itself is completely different from censorship. I do not agree with censorship. I absolutely do not agree with censorship. I understand that there are some things that, you know, can't go into the public domain. They can't, but to remove anything that you might consider offensive or a trigger mechanism for someone who's a nut job, it is wrong. You know, there will always be people out there whose personality is, I don't know, wired or predisposed to the acts they're going to commit, you know, like murderers or whatever. I honestly believe that it's in them from day one, and however long it takes, at some point they are going to do what they are going to do. The fact that it was triggered by something, whether it's a book, a movie, or a violent video game, is by the way. You know, that's just a trigger. They were going to do it anyway. So to remove, to say we're protecting everyone by removing all of that from society is just bollocks. Why should the majority suffer for the acts of the minority? To touch on it again, I absolutely hate it when people say, you know, all acts are caused by people being influenced by something. Let me tell you something. I absolutely adore horror movies. You know, I love horror movies. You know, I love zombie movies in particular. You know, the grosser, the better. Full-on gore fest and violence and shit like that. I absolutely love it. But I can tell the difference between that and reality. It's never affected me to do anything. You know, I don't even have a criminal record. I don't even have a criminal record. I'm saying that like I should wear it as a badge. But actually, no, I should wear it as a badge. I'm very proud of that fact. I get the difference. I watch the, you know, like I said, I love a movie to be absolutely nasty when it comes to gore and shit like that. But I get the difference between that and the real world. So, you know, I'm just trying to touch on the fact, I just hate when people say, like, this guy did this because of this, you know, newspapers or whatever, you know, this guy murdered this person because of this movie or because of this video game. That's the biggest part of horse shit I've ever heard. The other thing I want to touch on is this whole, if you can't stand being, you know, bullied or abused or whatever, then you shouldn't be on YouTube, or you shouldn't be kind of in the, you know, any sort of internet public domain. And I know where they're coming from, and I respect their opinion, but I disagree. I think that's wrong. I just think, you know, I understand that there's a negative aspect to life. Life is not great all the time. Life is not shiny and fantastic. I get that, you know, it doesn't taste of chocolate all the time. But to say that people kind of, you know, if you're not prepared to take abuse, then you shouldn't be on here. You know, you shouldn't have to take abuse. You will, but you shouldn't. So the point I'm trying to make is, these people who step up to the plate and start a channel or whatever and then get massively abused but don't have, I don't know, the personality to take it and drop off the radar, you know, who's to say that they wouldn't be the next big person? And I don't mean on YouTube. Who's to say that that person wouldn't be the guy who cures cancer, you know, the next woman who wins the Nobel Peace Prize, you know, the guy who finds a way to get us to Mars. Personal favourite of mine, got to get to Mars. Do you know what I mean? To say that you should have to take this, and if you can't, you should get out of Dodge. I disagree. You know, these people have something valid to say, and if they get shut down, you know, we will never get to hear what they said, and it could have been utterly brilliant and utterly amazing. So I don't buy the whole you have to have the personality to kind of be on here. I don't buy that. I honestly think that YouTube owes, you know, the people who use its service kind of a little bit of protection, you know. I'm not saying it should mother them, but I'm saying it owes them a little bit of protection, you know. These people need to flourish. The fact that they get shot down by bullies who can run free reign on the service that YouTube provides is wrong. So to say that someone needs to, if you can't do this, get off YouTube, no, that's bollocks. I think that's terrible. I think basically it comes back to what I said originally, which is YouTube owes a moral responsibility. If you're going to offer this service knowing full well that it can be abused in such a way, then you need to counter act the abuse with measures to stop it, because all these people who come on here and get shot down in flames and disappear, you know, in a month or so, they could have had something really valid to say. I don't just mean on YouTube, but I mean in the world, you know, they could have said something that changed your life, but we'll never know, because they got shot down by, you know, trolls. So to sum up this video response to me, I just want to put it out there that me talking about YouTube kind of pulling its thumb out of its ass and policing itself is not to be confused with censorship. They're two completely different things, you know. I do not agree with censorship, but the fact that YouTube operates a service that, knowing full well, can be completely and utterly abused, you know, and I get in everyday life people abuse things, but this is on a different scale. YouTube does something and knows full well that it can be utterly abused by people, but its response to it is completely and utterly half-assed, and that's just poor, man. That's fucking poor. The other thing I want to talk about is when people say if you don't have the backbone or the personality to take abuse, then don't come on it. Well, why should you have to take abuse? To me, that's almost like you're giving one to the trolls. You're saying, well, I know you're out there, so it's, you know, do what you do. No, I disagree. They should not have to take abuse. YouTube should fucking get its shit in order and sort this crap out. Someone should be able to step up to the plate and say, you know, nervous or whatever, you know, first channel, first time, and say, I've got an idea that could change your life. Because maybe they have. But then they get shot down and chopped up to bits by bullies that basically YouTube is letting run free reign on their service. So it's almost sad that we kind of, and I do as well, I'm as guilty as the next person, we kind of accept this. No, we shouldn't have to accept this. It's our fucking community, and I say we take it back. And YouTube, if you're watching this, which you aren't because you don't do fuck all in the community, to be perfectly honest, sort your shit out. Sort your shit out.